Now, the Denver Nuggets, this was a team that, gave the Thunder the most trouble, the most problems. They took the Thunder to 7 games, and this is a team that we expect to be the NBA champion. Jokic showed his greatness, and this is all under the circumstances of having your head coach fired before the playoffs start. So give the Nuggets credit. This was a successful postseason run, given all the things that happened. And I feel like it's clear as day what you need to do. What changes need to be made. They just took off the interim tag off their assistant coach, made him the head coach now. I think in terms of players and roster movement, I think Jamal Murray, this is somebody that's got to stay. I know he has his inconsistencies, but this is somebody that's, made big shots, shows up big, has big playoff performances. He had a 43-point playoff performance. Him and Jokic have continuity together. This is one of the top duos in the NBA. This is a tandem that you don't want to break up. So I think he should stay. Let him get healthy. Aaron Gordon, he put up a postseason for the ages. He played Game 7 with his hamstring torn. Huge props for that. He also had multiple game-winning shots this postseason. He single-handedly, with that dunk, stopped the Clippers from going on a finals run. The Clippers probably were the best team to face OKC. The nightmare matchup for OKC, and the Nuggets were able to put that series away because of that game and because of that play by Aaron Gordon. 16 points per game this playoffs for him, his highest average in his career. Him, Jamal Murray, Jokic, that's your big trio that you should focus on. Michael Porter Jr. is the guy that needs to be moved at all costs. In the OKC series, Game 1, 1 for 8 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. Game 2, 2 for 10 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. Games 4 and 5, he had an identical shooting performance, 1 for 7 and 0 for 5 from 3. So just performance after performance, just terrible, not showing up. I know he had a shoulder injury, but you see guys that are banged up that are still rising to the occasion. He didn't. Terrible postseason from him all across the board. He's 26 years old, still has some upside, good three-point shooter, good stretch wing, athletic player. Like, he still has some high upside to him. I think the Nuggets could get a lot back from him. And we see every team that had success, the teams that are in the finals, have depth. The Nuggets don't have depth. So moving on from Michael Porter Jr. could give you one or two things. It could give you depth, or it could give you potentially a huge upgrade from your fourth best player. You could get some guys. You could, trade into the Bulls. That could be a team that's interested and get some players back within that deal. Some guys that can make an impact. Just chucking up shots, brick after brick. Michael Porter Jr., if he would have been a little bit better, if he would have gave you a little bit of production in those games, any of those games that he had abysmal shooting performance in, the Nuggets won that series. It went to Game 7 and he's playing like that. So, yeah, I think there are some teams that could still be interested in him. I'd move him and get whatever deal you can for him. And, yeah, I think if you can upgrade your fourth best player on this team, the Nuggets have a chance. Or if you could get some guys that can contribute off the bench. You need guys, they still haven't replaced Bruce Brown. Christian Brown was another guy that was phenomenal this postseason. Really great all across the board this whole season, so that's somebody they need to extend. Having other guys on this roster that can contribute is a huge thing moving forward for the Nuggets. I think like a dream scenario, a dream situation, I know this is fantasy land kind of like move, but Kawhi Leonard to the Denver Nuggets. If the Clippers ever decide to move on from him, Michael Porter Jr. is a young player that could be a star potentially in a change of scenery situation. Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, get some guys in that could compete, some guys off the bench, off some vet minimum deals, like a Chris Paul off the bench, facilitating. Do something. Even Russ wouldn't be that bad off the bench, giving you 20 minutes a game. Like, I know he had some terrible performances, but he was fantastic against the Clippers for obvious reasons. But yeah, Kawhi Leonard, could you imagine? That would be a dream scenario, like I said. But the Kawhi that we saw in the playoffs, the Kawhi we saw towards the end of the regular season, the healthy Kawhi, he still is an assassin. And that replacing Michael Porter Jr. with Kawhi, dream scenario, of course. Kevin Durant, too, like adding another scorer to that. A dangerous guy. That's what the Nuggets kind of were missing. And Jamal Murray could be the third best player on this team with the Kawhi or Kevin Durant. But yeah, just shore up some things, extend Christian Brown, trade Michael Porter Jr. for bench help, depth. I mean, get a guy like Jordan Clarkson in the building, a microwave bucket getter. You know, the time they had Will Barton, Malik Beasley, Monte Morris, they don't have that anymore. Bruce Brown, they don't have that anymore. They need to replace that. And I think like a Jordan Clarkson, a guy who's just miserable in Utah, barely playing and shit. Like add a guy like that or Colin Sexton off the bench. Come on. The Nuggets need to look that way. Look that direction. They're not that far away. Jokic, you still have Jokic, the best player in the NBA. You see what happens. He's at least going to take the Thunder, an all-time great team, 7. Crazy to think. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.